Hello, I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach, coming to you this Saturday, December 3rd. Today is day 3 of me going live every single day for the rest of 2022. And I want to talk about a concept that is not new for anyone who's in the coaching world, but it's a great reminder because we have a lot of voices in our heads, like all of us. And if you're one of those weirdos who, and I'm sorry, I say weirdos, I say it with so much love. I can't imagine even thinking this way, but there is a small percentage of the population who doesn't have like a voice in their head. They actually think in like pictures or smells or something. You may not understand what I'm talking about here. However, to those of you who do have like an interior, like a inner monologue happening, I can't even speak. This is gonna sound pretty familiar to you. Okay, so we have these voices in our minds that have commentary over what we're doing, who we're being, how we're acting. And it's really easy to just believe every single thought that comes up in your head. And let's just acknowledge that, like, just because we think it doesn't mean that it's true. Okay. Thank you, Elise, and I'm forgetting her last name. I think not Elise Michaels. Elise, she's on TikTok. I absolutely adore her. Anyway, just because you think it doesn't mean that it's true is so true. Your brain is designed to come up with thoughts. Your brain is literally designed to make sure that you are able to survive the big wide world out there. And let's acknowledge that the big wide world, up until recently in human history, has been a very super extremely dangerous place. Okay. So it's been very beneficial to us to have a brain that can identify any potential dangers, pitfalls, situations where we may get kicked out of our tribe and have to starve in the wilderness alone. And this is where these saboteur voices, and that's a very coachy word. It's basically those voices in your mind that tell you that you suck, that you're ugly, that you're stupid, that you're not qualified, that you're a loser, that you're always going to be a loser, that you're never going to amount to anything, that you failed before. So of course you're going to fail again. And on and on and on and on. Those voices have served us as a species for a very long time. Because as a species, we would not have been able to survive if we screwed anything up or got rejected from our tribe. If we took too many risks that, risked our home, our ability to get food, our ability to do a whole slew of things. Okay, so let's acknowledge that those voices, they do have a purpose. And also, most of the time, they're full of shit. Okay. Now, it's really hard to really dig into how full of shit these voices are, because oftentimes when we have them, we don't want to actually talk about them. Going to a loved one or a friend or someone who we trust and telling them the deepest, darkest, worst things that we think about ourselves, it's a really vulnerable thing to do. Okay. It's something that most people have to feel an extreme sense of safety to be able to admit. All right. And one of the reasons most people don't share these thoughts, these beliefs they hold about themselves, is because what if the person you tell is like, well, yeah, that's true. What if they agree with you? Hi, Stephen Doyle. Good evening in Ireland. So what if they agree with you? What if they, think you're an idiot and you shouldn't do anything? It's hard to deconstruct something and name it as untrue unless you're verifying against someone else. But here's something that I want you to see for yourself. This voice in your head, the saboteur, this fear-based way of thinking, has one purpose and one purpose only: to keep you alive, to keep you in clean oxygen, to keep you in drinkable water, to keep you in some food, and to have some shelter, and to hopefully have some community as well. The fear-based thinking doesn't care if that community sucks. That fear-based thinking doesn't care if that food is unhealthy and disgusting. That fear-based thinking doesn't care if you have an awful, awful job that pays you not enough to live on, but just enough that you can squeak by. Hi, Andrew. I'd love to talk to you too. Yes. This fear-based part of your brain is designed to help you survive. It is not designed to help you thrive. And so if you are thinking about stopping being a weenie, about being brave and doing something that will make you so happy, like starting a business, like quitting your job, like changing your life, you have to stop listening to it. Okay. Your saboteur, and I like to call them the what if monsters, right? Because it's that voice in your mind that, like, you start thinking about something that you really want, like giving up your apartment and buying an RV and traveling around the country. And it starts going, well, what if this happens? Well, what if you're in the middle of the woods and like bears attack the RV and they rip you to shreds? Well, what if you run out of gas in the desert and you die? Well, what if you run out of money and blah, 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 blah. What if, blah, 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 blah. It's not helpful. Now, something that I want you to recognize in yourself, and I have a dog to my right who's about to have a meltdown. I need to stop doing lives around her dinner time. This is just bad planning on my part, so I apologize for this in advance. So I want you to recognize where you get tense in your body, in your meat suit, when the what if monsters are wreaking havoc in your brain. Now, for me, this is like all in my shoulders and my neck. I get super crunchy. It's like my shoulders are up in my ears. I also find that like my hips get tight. Maybe it's because I'm like sitting like and just being like really tense. Luna, I see you. I'm going to take care of you in just 1 second, okay? But oh yeah, me too. Mindset is everything, Andrew, right? You know this. Notice where this feeling happens in your actual body. Okay. Because these thoughts are really good at impersonating our intuition. And I don't know about you guys, but when I experience an intuition, like that feeling, knowing in my body, it's all from my diaphragm. It almost feels like I just have this very grounded knowing that's like a magnet towards what I want or where I need to go. Okay. There's a physical difference here. Okay. Now, the other thing that will happen is there's a difference when you're listening to your what if monsters versus your inner badass or inner leader, whatever you like to call them. And that is when you're listening to your inner what if monsters, all you're hearing is what you can't do. All you're seeing is the danger. All you're seeing is the limits on your resources. Okay. So if you're thinking about starting a business and your what if monsters have taken over, all you're going to be thinking about is, well, there's not enough money in the bank for me to do this. Oh, well, I don't have this, so I can't do that. Oh, well, I can't have this. And blah, blah, blah. Can't. Okay. That is the standard bearer for the what if monsters. Now, your inner leader, your inner badass doesn't see things that way. Your inner leader will say, okay, cool. So I don't know how to do this thing, but I can learn it. I also don't have that resource, but you know what? I know people who can help me get it. And I also don't have that, but you know what? Here's like 3 dozen different ways that I can get it. Your inner leader sees how creative and resourceful you are and doesn't put limitations and doesn't play the you can't do that because of this reason game. Okay, which sucks. Like, that's the worst game in the world. Can we just play better games like Pictionary or, Monopoly is kind of boring, but like I'm looking at Harry Potter Trivial Pursuit. That's fun. Like, if we're going to play a game, can we play something fun? Let's not play the I can't because of X, Y, and Z reason game. That sucks. So those are two ways that you can identify if you're listening to your saboteurs, if you're letting your inner doubt run the whole game of your life. I can tell you, as someone who used to let that inner doubt run her whole life, life sucks. Life is just miserable when you do that. You have crap relationships. You have not so great friends who aren't really supportive of you because you haven't asked for it. And I have a hair in my eye. Excuse me. This is an awkward live. Hi. Thank you for watching, everyone. I think it's an eyelash. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you usually have to settle for like less than ideal living situations. Your job is usually soul sucking. I know that's probably hitting home with some of you. Charlie, thank you. Thank you for owning that I called you out. I knew I was calling out someone, but I love having a face to stick with it. Thanks, Charlie. You're probably not happy with a whole slew of things in your life. And just to know, the only person who has the power to change that is you. You are the only person in the world who can shift gears on this and change life to what you want it to be. Okay? But this is one of the best things I love acknowledging as a coach and as a human being and in my own life, is that if it's your fault, if it's in your power, then that means you get to change it. And just so you know, yes, you're really ingrained in letting that doubt mindset run your whole life. And it's going to take a little bit of work to retrain yourself to switch into your inner leader to run your life. But it's possible. It's absolutely possible. And, you know, whether it's working with a coach, a therapist, spiritual leader, whatever venue will serve you best, do it, because life is way too fucking short. Okay. And I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are about the next life or the afterlife or whatever, but I think we've only got one shot. And also, why would you want to waste any of your shots, even if you think that you're going to live like 327 different lives? I think that's a waste. Anyway, with that, I probably have to feed my grouchy puppy. It's her dinner time right now. We've had a very rainy day today, so she hasn't gotten much exercise. And it's kind of been a whole ordeal. Stephen, Andrew, Charlie, and anyone else who watched, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is the wake-up call that you needed. And with that, I will release you to your Saturday night. I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach. I'll be going live with you again tomorrow and every day for the rest of the month. Stay tuned, and I can't wait to go live with you tomorrow. Bye.